it's hard to come up with a name. It's hard to come up with a brand. And when you're starting out as a solopreneur, like it's your voice, it's your content. So if I just wouldn't waste time on it. Like, I think this is an interesting conversation. And I think both are important. And it just even goes to show that, like you're saying, hey, I'm trying to figure this out for Millennial Money Man, but eventually I will start a personal brand. And you see that with every big company, like whether a company blows up or they get acquired or whatever it is. And you see that with all these online companies. Every tool that you use or you promote as an affiliate, there's a solo brand behind it. There's a person that created that product. There's somebody that created, Russell Brunson with ClickFunnels. The guy, I don't know his name, but the ConvertKit. I've seen his podcast on YouTube and different stuff. Like, those people are there and they have some expertise and they have something that they're good at and they're known for that's not their product or their company. So, it's...
Yeah. I think Facebook's a good example of it too, from the perspective of like, how many billions of dollars did Facebook make? When Facebook really, like, if you think about what Facebook is and what they were trying to do with their company, they were limited because it's like a digital phone book with faces on it or whatever. Like, the name itself was very limiting. It's not the perfect name, but they had such a great product and such a unique product. And they did something for advertisers with the way that they could run ads and the targeting they could do.
Yeah.
It's something for people where they provided this resource for free for people to connect with other people. So they went a long way with a subpar kind of name. And then just recently, after billions in revenue, they changed it to something that's probably more of a good brand name or whatever. And so it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, it does matter sort of, but it really doesn't in the grand scheme. And that's kind of like, I just think you can make this stuff as complicated as you want. There's no perfect way to do any of it. But I think if you're talking about like the most straightforward, easy way, like just going with yourself is a great way to do it. And there's a reason, like, you see all these startups with stupid names. Like, they just pick random names, like name generators sometimes. Like, sometimes the names are completely unrelated. And I think it comes down to, they're trying to find something that's memorable and cool, and everybody
comes
wants
down
to
to
be the next
products
Uber.
more important.
Yeah, but it's like, people don't like Uber because it's called Uber. They like Uber because it's super convenient to go anywhere, and it was a very unique idea. And you don't even have to have unique ideas to be successful. But it was just...
Think about it. Lyft is number 2. Yeah. And Lyft is a better name than Uber.
Yeah.
But they'll always be number 2.
Yeah, Uber, I don't know if Uber means something in German or whatever, but like, I don't know what, like, it's just called Uber, but it's the fact that it's a cool app that you can just get a ride anytime you want super easily. Like, that's what matters. So, I know that doesn't make people feel better than starting a business. And they, we've seen this time and time again where like people start a freelancing business and they're like, oh, I don't want to get started until I have a perfect name. And like, that's usually fear and procrastination and a little bit of like imposter syndrome. And you feel like you got to pretend like you're something you're not. But you make money doing good work and providing good solutions for customers, like solving people's problems. And if you just focus on that, you can have a multi-7-figure business. You could have a multi-billion-dollar business before you have the perfect name. Like, it's just a reality, Yeah.
I don't think I think in some ways, like, especially if you're in like the digital product space, like almost your product name is almost more important than your brand name. Yeah. Because sometimes, and not always, like if you have a good product, it almost doesn't even matter what it's called, but because some have like, I know some really good ones that have goofy names, but if you have a good name that explains the product, it makes it easier to sell and to market. The example I always think of, like Jason from Anyman Fitness, like, great brand, like it's almost like his niche is almost like there's no niche. It's just a regular everyday person. But, I think of one of his products in particular is called No Cardio Fat Shredding. It's like an 8-week program.
Yeah.
It's so good because you just know, like, immediately, like, well, I want to lose weight and I don't like cardio. I'm in. Like, it was just it's so simple. And so sometimes you have a name like that where it just so clearly conveys the message. You've taken the end result, the solution, and you've like bottled it up into a short, thing where, and that's a skill to do. He's really good at that. But so sometimes it can matter, like something like that can help. But at the end of the day, like that's not what made it successful. What made it successful is all the results, and he can put up all of those, all that social proof. What made it successful was the marketing strategy, the, growing the list, like all of those kind of things. So don't overthink the brand stuff. But what I would do, is whatever you're doing, if you're becoming a blogger, a YouTuber, whatever, go like make a decision and then start really building the brand. And like, to me, like that's, really hone in on the solution you provide or the problem you solve, however you want to look at it. And then just focus on acquiring emails, focus on building your list, focus on building that thing, that non-algorithmic audience, the email list. Like that should be the number one thing that you focus on. And as you do that, you're going to refine your message and you're going to refine your brand through your content and through your email marketing. Because like your brand is more the voice and the message than it is the name. Yeah. And people don't think about that and they're all over the place. I think one of the things I have the hardest time with is I do think about all of that. And so I'm trying to like really dial that in and think, it's almost like I'm overthinking, you overthink it.
Yeah.
So, but that's what matters. Like when you're first starting, like if I was, if I was a creator of some sort, just starting, like somebody goes and they start a blog in the personal finance space, we'll just create content and try to figure out how to get emails. Like that's the first skill that you need to learn to build your brand. In my opinion, you might feel something different, but like, like that's how you start making money. That's how you start building that following and truly build that brand and that brand loyalty.